I made my Halloween costume this year and I actually started making it in spring. Whenever Phoebe Bridgers went on SNL, I immediately was like, oh my god, her custom Gucci dress is amazing. I need to try to recreate it. So I did. I initially intended to put that video out like within that month so that it would still be relevant. It took me a while longer to finish, even though it didn't need to. Like, you could probably do this in a day. If you want to make something similar for your Halloween costume real quick, I think you can do it. It's not that hard. It's just like the trial and error of my attempt was a little more intensive than it should have been. But if you look at what I did, then you would know how to do it better and faster. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Here's a kind of a tutorial. It's not really a tutorial, but it does go through the steps of how I did it. If you follow this tutorial, you could totally do this in like a day. All you need are just like the beads or the pearls or the necklaces, like any kind of necklaces really. This could be up for interpretation. Just have to get the draping right to get the rib cage effect. Here's the video. Like I said, it was filmed a while ago, so it's kind of a mishmash, but I hope you like it, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good Halloween. I can't stop thinking about the custom Gucci dress that Phoebe Bridgers wore on SNL. So let's try to make it. I have here my model. She's a mannequin from Lord & Taylor because I don't have a dress form, and she's obviously a lot taller and slimmer than I am, but for draping purposes, I think she'll work. So I'm going to try to lay it out on her person, and I might have to hand sew it on her person, but let's see. So here's what we're working with. I have all of these sparkly rhinestone jewelry, mixed vintage and new. Some of them are broken, some of them I just didn't like wearing anymore, and I've been hoarding them for years. And I think this is the perfect project to finally use them. I also have all of these beads. These are my baby teeth, but I have all these pearls and like crystal beads that I think I could add on to it as well. Looking at the design, it has like a central anchor, and it looks like some kind of like bow situation, and then the draped pieces. So I want to try to make these pieces as symmetrical as possible, and then use like the most intricate pieces for this central piece, and then also the side pieces. I am going to sew this directly onto the dress. I thought about trying to make it like a separate bodice thing that I could put on its own, but I think that's going to be really hard. So we're just going to do the front, and then, you know, I chose this dress that I thrifted. It kind of goes. We'll see. Quickly realizing there's no really good way to pin this. I thought maybe a safety pin would work, but because these are like chained like little pieces, there's no like holes. Some of them have holes, but not all of them. So I might actually just have to do this on the fly and just start sewing it and make it up as I go. But I think this piece is really nice. This should definitely be like the anchor. It has that bow effect. It's a really pretty necklace. I just didn't like how it sat on me at its intended length. It's a little bit high on my neck. I have a pretty thick neck, so I like it a lot down here. So I think I'll just tack it down with as little stitches as I need to keep it in place, and then move forward in that way, and then come back and maybe stitch around some of these links for extra security. But I do want to keep that like drapey look. I'm also gonna have to try this on as I go to make sure it drapes over my body as well as it's draping over my beautiful model's body. So here's how it's looking. I'm using these like the central pieces to kind of anchor the middle, and I think it's gonna work. I'm not really sure because most of these strands aren't going to be long enough to like give me that rib effect unless I like attach them in the middle. So I think I'm going to try to intertwine them with some strands of pearls somehow. But I think it's gonna be cool. And I think I'm gonna put these earrings like on the side here, and then maybe some other like chunky stuff over here on the sides, and then like pearls. So it's 2 days later. Progress has been made, but also not made. And I want to show you because I want you to see that the process is not always perfect, and that is why you trust the process. I realized after I attached a couple of these that some were crooked, so I was like, I'm stupid, why don't I just take this off, mark the direct center, and use that as my guideline instead of like trying to use her body and like center it, just eyeballing it. So that's the first thing I did to correct my mistakes, was I took the dress off, I laid it out, I measured like armpit to armpit and marked the direct center all the way down. So that helped. So now we have some of these pieces nicely centered. This one still needs to be taken off and recentered. But now the problem is that it's too like straight across. Most of the pieces on the original dress come from like about mid armpit as the highest point of this should be attached up here instead of down here, so that it's not so like under boob and looks more like a rib cage. So I'm kind of pissed that I have to now take off this thread of pearls and make it longer and put it up here after I've already sewn it. But I do want this to look right, so I'm going to do that. Probably going to like cut it here and then like tie on some extra thread so I don't lose all of this, and then just bring it up. Something I did think of that I think was pretty smart was for this midpoint, so that these are pretty heavy. This is like pearl and crystal beads. Not real pearls, but you know, it's heavy. So I didn't want to just attach it directly to the dress because then it would kind of maybe pucker a little bit and like drag it down. So what I have done here is I put a button on the back and sewed my attaching stitches from the front through the button on the back, and I think that helped like anchor it. So what I'm going to do now is probably take these off and bring them up, take these off, bring them up, and then I need to add some more, you know, beads and stuff, and then we'll check in again. Okay, I think this is looking a lot better. It's it looks like extra like saggy now, but we have to remember this model is like a size 0. So when I put this on, it will like, you know, it'll stretch across my body more and it won't look like this. But I think this length is a lot better. And now I have taken this strand, I undid it, and I added on some extra. I'm going to measure down on either side where I want to attach that. Just mark down from the shoulder seam on each side at the 5.5 point. Let's double check that that's like a good spot. It kind of overlaps with the pearls a little bit, but I like that. I think it needs to be like that. I think in the original dress, they're like almost on top of each other down here, and then it gets, you know, more spread out. There's 7 strands total on the original dress. So I'm thinking like 3, 4, 5, 6, and then maybe one more up here is 7. So to do this, I will bring you in closer, and we're just going to go in behind the underarm seam, sleeve seam here, stick the needle through, and then because there's no like loop or anything at the end of this, we're just going to loop it around the last segment. So basically loop it around like that, so it kind of hooks onto it. You could even like double loop it to start, and then just stick your needle back where it came, and then it's attached. You want to go back over that a couple times. And then what I'm also going to do, because this is like set in a little setting, you can go around the little prongs, grab the thread around a prong and stitch it in. I think we're getting somewhere now. Like, This is funny. Let me check the original inspiration photo though, because I feel like every time I do something and then I check the photo, I realize that I'm totally doing it wrong still. Yeah, this is right. These just kind of gather. I think we're getting somewhere. So I need like one more bead strand at about this level, like that, and then like 1, 2, 3, and then 1 to the top, and we'll be done. You know, like 7 more hours of hand sewing work and we'll be there. At least it's still in time for Halloween. You know, I made my Halloween costume super early this year. It's been a few more days. I've solved this problem. I think we're really getting like the drapey rib effect now. I have sewed these on to the sides and I started doing like a little thing here because I thought maybe I could do some like drapey stuff up here, but I actually don't love how these look. I don't know, it doesn't flow. I already stitched them on, of course, but you know, we're all about making mistakes and fixing them. So I'm going to take them off and I might move them to be this way, more like soldiery kind of little, like whatever those are called. This is such a pain in the ass. I think I like that better, maybe. I don't know. I need something going on like here to bring it all together. I'm thinking maybe one strand of pearls, or like maybe I do something draped down here. I'm really not sure, but I guess I'll figure it out. I really am trying to finish this today. You can also see that I added some little accent pieces in the centers here. This really is like kind of far off from where the original design was, but I think the inspiration is obvious and I think the pictures will turn out cool. So let's try to finish this.